Welcome to Ear Biscuits. I'm Rhett.
And I'm Link. This week at the Round Table of Dim Lighting, we're asking the question, I'm asking the question, should I get back on Instagram? Should I finally—
You're still asking that question?
Get back on Instagram. I've been asking this question for a number of years, and I just thought this would be a great forum to finally make a decision, because I've been thinking about Instagram a lot more lately. It hasn't lost steam, you know?
Oh, you think it might be here to stay?
You know the background, and I've asked you to get into it, but just how many years have I been off Instagram?
About 6.
Gosh, it's been 6 years since I've been on Instagram, and it's still happening. I got family, friends, general loved ones who are Instagramming it up. I mean, I'm a digital creator, for goodness sakes. I just feel embarrassed that I'm not on Instagram. But so I've been thinking about it at a higher frequency, and I also think end of last year, beginning of this year, it's one of those maybe the new year is the time for me to think about Instagramming again. I don't know. So I'm just saying, I've been thinking about it, and Rhett, I just wanna ask you, just to help me think this through so we don't have to have another discussion about it. Maybe at the end of this, the answer is no, shut up about it, and just give up even thinking about it.
Barbara, get out of the trash. You know, your dog sits.
I love how you yelled into the mic for Barbara to get out of the trash, because
She's got headphones on.
She don't have headphones on. She can't hear you better.
Well, here's the thing. Your dog sits nicely in your lap. My dog is just exploring the territory around here. I'm just hoping that she'll learn everything she wants to and sit down.
They've had a big day. Hanging out in our office. They had their hopes up that it would be really exciting hanging out at work together, and they realized, it's kind of boring.
Here's
like our kids have done.
Here's my perspective on this. Just sort of the beginning of my perspective.
And can you say something to them if they could care less about me getting on Instagram?
That's what my perspective is going to encompass.
Great, because I feel the need for that.
Yeah. In one sense, I would say this isn't like you're deciding to start a side gig. This isn't like you're talking about doing something that is going to, in any real, significant, tangible way, alter your lifestyle or the lifestyle of anyone that you come in close contact with.
Okay.
You're talking about activating, not even beginning for the first time, but activating a social media platform that the majority of people in the Western world probably already are on.
Mm-hmm.
And
I disagree with a lot of what you've already said.
Okay.
And I'm prepared to explain it later, but keep going.
But so what I'm saying is, I think that is that's the perspective that I bring to this.
Okay.
Is that it really isn't a big deal.
Just post a photo or don't.
Just come back. But at the same time, you know what? We talk about it for an hour, we can get an episode of Ear Biscuits.
I've thought a lot about this. I have lots of hopes, fears, concerns. There's a lot wrapped up in this for me, and I need to process it. But I also think that it's not just about me. It might also be about you or about loved ones of yours and their—
Are you talking to me or are you talking to them?
I'm talking to them.
Oh.
What's your relationship with social media, and specifically, does Instagram represent a threat to your personal well-being? I think that's a component of this. And like I said—
I have thoughts about that as well.
All right, well.
For how it would relate to you. But
we can get into that.
But do you want me to kind of give it a little background?
Please do. Please kind of bring me and everybody else up to speed on where we last left me. Did that come out right? Where we left me last on Instagram.
Well, I'm gonna give some full context here.
Okay.
I know it's a little strange that I am using a laptop to access an Instagram account, but I have multiple tabs open because I wanted to explore this in detail.
All right.
So, it does make sense in my own brain. Now, Link, you posted your first, or at least the first picture that is on your feed. I'm assuming, does this strike you as the first picture?
This is my first picture, yeah.
Because some people start earlier and then they go back and delete. You didn't do that.
I haven't done that. Now I've done some deleting of other things, which I'll get to later.
You posted on July 25th, 2013.
Wow, 2013.
So 5.5 years ago, not quite 6 years ago.
This is when I joined.
This is your first post ever. I remember this day. We were shooting. What was this? YouTube Rewind?
YouTube Rewind, yeah, for the Anaconda music video.
Hold on, but
parody.
why did you shoot that? Why did you post that in July 25th? Was this like you accessed this from your?
I might have posted it when Rewind came out, or I don't know.
Rewind doesn't come out in the middle of the summer. July.
I don't know. I thought you said January. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we were shooting it that early.
Are you sure this was Rewind? I think we went to.
It was a YouTube set that was built for people to shoot different types of things for their channels, and so I was wrong about that. This is just a jungle set built at the YouTube space, and we happen to be there for another reason.
Here's what I'll say. This is a great start to this was a great start to your Instagram.
I'm holding a
career.
club, and my caption is
"We be clubbing." I mean,
Yeah.
it's got a built-in joke, some tongue-in-cheek, punny humor.
interesting location.
The club is well framed and in the foreground.
Well, you took the photo, so don't.
Oh yeah, Rhett really framed the photo very well and focused on the club, which was, brings all the attention to the club, which is the butt of the joke.
Keep in mind the listeners can't see this, so let's not dwell too much on the picture itself.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I'm trying to let you picture it in your own mind.
Okay.
Now, just for comparison's sake, and I'm the control group. I'm the guy who is still on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a club picture?
I started Instagram 2.5 years before you did, interestingly. November 10th, 2011. Well, that's not 2.5 years. That's a year and a half or almost so. Barbara's now yelping. She's whining. She wants, Barbara, just listen. Just sit down. We're just having a conversation.
Why is she staring at the door?
She wants to leave. Just lie down. No, nobody's out there.
She's ignoring you. She'd rather stare at a wall than be with you.
We'll see how long that lasts. We might have to get Jenna to come get her. I posted a picture, no caption. I came out of the gate not hot at all. No caption whatsoever.
But a lot earlier than me. Okay.
And had a wigged picture. Now, I don't know exactly why at that point, when I made the decision to get on Instagram, you didn't. Because typically when we embark on things like this, we typically do them together.
It was a new thing, and I'm like, I don't wanna do another thing. Another thing that will probably fizzle out. I mean, there'd been some things and they had just fizzled out. I can't even remember what they are.
So it does take a little bit more from you to kind of get your mojo
definitely
up to the place where you want to actually participate. But
I finally broke and I did it.
And then you posted, let me get out of this. First of all, I just will comment that your next two photos were faces of
sculptures.
Like one's a Lego sculpture and one is a series of baby dolls put together to make a lion.
Pretty crazy. It's a mask made out of baby doll arms. I think that was at a museum or something.
It was an amazing Medusa sculpture from your vacation in the Exploratorium in San Fran. You actually shortened San Fran. You could have put SF. You probably would do that now.
So a vacation pic.
So is she like she's scratching the door now? My dog is just she's like she's being held captive. Okay. And then a handful of posts later. I mean, not more than 30 posts later. It was November 30th. So about 2.5 years later, No, it's the same year. It's 2013. What?
Same year.
What? It's November 30th, 2013. You didn't last a year? It was from July to November of the same year. And interestingly, your last post
from a mountaintop.
It's like you're saying goodbye. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not even a picture of you. It's just a picture of the sky. And it's just like, you're like, I'm going into the ether.
Yeah, and I got 32,000 likes on that thing. That's pretty good, right?
You have 32,000 likes on that because it's your last post.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not.
How many followers do I have? I don't even know that.
You currently have 476,000 followers.
Almost 500,000 followers. How many do you have?
Thanks for asking. First I gotta scroll through all my many posts. And the funny thing is I don't even post that often. I have 1 million.
You got 1 million followers.
No, that's what happens when you continue to participate.
Wow, but dag.
I don't know the exact number because it just says 1M.
Now, I don't have a competitive bone in my body, so this is not resonating with me. I'm just like surprised. So you've doubled me, but maybe I could get competitive and that could be something to motivate me.
But I will say that, just doing the math on this, that I've definitely put in more than twice the effort. And I'm still only twice as many followers.
Right.
So you actually have done,
but it's taken
you were
its toll.
on for a year.
I can look at you and tell. I mean,
I've aged. Aged quite a bit.
Your Instagramming habit has taken its toll, man. Look at me. Look at how spry I look. This is the delta. You have 500,000 more followers, but you gonna die a lot sooner than me if it comes to natural causes.
Here's the thing. I have 416 posts, which is not a lot over a period of what we're going on, 8 years. You had 51. Oh, 51 posts. Okay, so 51, not too bad.
Pretty good.
But yeah, that's where you left it. And we've talked a lot about you coming back, and we've made a lot of fun of your final photo. And we actually did a recurring, and by recurring I mean I think we did it twice, segment.
We couldn't even keep doing that.
On whatever season of Good Mythical Morning when we started making all those videos, whatever that was.
Yeah, we started making the segments.
I've already forgotten.
People were hating on the segments and hating on that particular segment, which was like a tongue-in-cheek bit of like, hey, what picture is gonna bring me back on Instagram? What am I gonna post? Because I'm gonna come back. I am determined to get back on Instagram. Continue to help me out, guys. I want you to tweet using hashtag #LinksPerfectInstagram with your suggestion of what my return to Instagram should be.
I believe in you. You can do it.
Don't hold back. And then the segment went so poorly that I was just like, this is a sign and I get back on Instagram.
And we were actually at that time, we were just building towards you legitimately coming back.
I thought I'd made a decision to come back and we were just gonna do that bit in order to do it, but it never happened. And I back pocketed it and I suppressed it. And it's just been something that's just been lurking and lingering. Oh,
okay, gosh. Well, we're gonna come back in a second and we're going to get behind why this is why it looms so large in your mind.
Yeah.
What's the psychology?
I have a list of problems with Instagram that I'm gonna need you to address.
Okay.
And then if there's a way forward, we're gonna have to collaboratively find it. But we're gonna have to navigate some problems that I believe are common to most anyone who is on or considering being on Instagram.
Okay. And while I take my dog out of here because she obviously doesn't want to be here, you can tell people where they can get these mugs.
Okay. Mythical.store is the place to get the official Ear Biscuit mug. Check it out. It's speckled, it's freckled like Kesha in the summer. Get yours now. I love freckles. I think it's great. So much so that I requested that they be on this mug. Get this one alone, get it with the LTAT and the official Good Mythical Morning mugs. They all work together as a set or separately. There's lots of other stuff over there at mythical.store, so go on over there, rep your squad, and that's us, the Mythical Squad, mythical.store. And we're back.
Now in the time that it took Barbara me to take Barbara out, she started her own Instagram account. I mean, it was
that easy.
It's that easy, Link.
Well, it's probably even easier to get back on, but it's not without its pitfalls. I think the first thing psychologically, the problem that I have with Instagram is that I think it traps people into seeming or actually becoming or being self-important or braggy. It traps people into seeming like they're bragging or humble bragging. Part and parcel with any post on social media, not just Instagram, I think, at its core, there's this implied assumption, and I could be wrong about this. This is just how I feel about it, okay? That an implied assumption that who I am or what I'm doing or the specifics of what I'm sharing, that people would be interested in it. You know, so it's, hey, look at me. I met a celebrity. I ate a cannoli. I am at a cool party. Isn't my baby or my dog cute?
Yes,
or
she is actually.
It just seems like you're sending a message that I think I'm good looking enough to assume that you would enjoy looking at a picture that I took of my own face. They call that a selfie.
Yeah.
You know, so there's this like self-consciousness that wells up at the moment I'm thinking about anything I'm gonna post.
Well, and it doesn't have to be a selfie. Sometimes you can hire a professional photographer to take a picture of you in a striking fruit-themed suit on the shores of Mexico.
Now, I ain't trying to pick on you. I'm just talking about myself here and what goes through my mind.
I'm proud of that. I'm proud of every photo. I'm especially proud of that one.
But it's, I mean.
Okay, I see what you're saying. And so.
Isn't that the underlying, like the core message of anything that you post is, I assume that you're interested in me or this thing that I'm posting.
But I have a number, what your perspective is not wrong, because that is, especially for a lot of people, maybe the majority of people, sort of the subtext of Instagram. But you say this as someone who makes their living on YouTube.
Yeah, there's some seeming irony in that, right? Seems like it's not adding up. Yeah, it seems like my job is, hey, look at me. Look at every day, go to YouTube and look at my face along with your face and laugh at it. Isn't what I'm doing funny? Isn't what I'm doing interesting? Look at me, look at me.
So
is it really,
while
I assume that you want to look at what we've planned.
Yeah.
But it feels different because I feel like what we're saying with everything we create, Good Mythical Morning is, you know, the top example is, I feel like the underlying message is, I assume that you will enjoy what we've decided to make. Now it just happens to feature my face prominently. Sometimes eating and gagging on things, I understand.
I understand there is a slight distinction there.
Like
I get that.
It's not look at me, it's be entertained by what we've created or be entertained by me.
Which leads to my second point, which is you can have an Instagram account that operates on a different principle. Lots of people do it. In fact, a number of the Instagram accounts that I'm going to recommend to you to follow, and maybe all of them, are not personality based. Now, so
are you, okay, go ahead.
So what I'm saying is that's one way to see Instagram. Some people, you know, we talked about this before. I think and I don't know if I've held to this, but I pulled it out of my butt, as I always do, some ratio that I thought was appropriate for selfies to pictures of things on Instagram. And I think I said something like 20%. Now, everyone will tell you, every analytics person will tell you that pictures of your face are going to perform the best and get the most followers. So once you start, you get into this place where you do want to get more followers, everything sort of pushes you in the direction of taking pictures of yourself. But you don't have to do that. You could take pictures of things. I mean, your last picture is a picture of the sky and the mountains. You could just be the sky and mountains man. So I don't necessarily think that it has to be all about you. But even if it is, the way that I see Instagram is, you know how like when you're in, you're like in a hotel in the city, like you're in a hotel in New York. Mm-hmm. And if you're like me,
oh, I've been in a hotel in New York.
You're in a high-rise hotel.
Oh, high-rising it.
And you go to the window and you do what at night?
Look out of it.
And what are you looking at?
The city.
You're looking at what?
Streets.
No, there's a building across the street, and there's what in the building?
Oh, I'm looking straight across?
Yeah.
A naked couple.
Well, I did see.
No, I've actually never looked across. I always think that. I'm like, wow, there's another high-rise building right there. That's an apartment. I'm gonna look across there and I'm gonna see naked people. But I never have. I keep looking.
Hold on, but
never happened.
Don't you remember the time that me and you and Stevie and all of our significant others were together on a balcony?
Yeah, okay.
In Manhattan. And then we looked across to the apartment across from us, and there were people doing something, and it took us about 10 minutes to figure out they were playing cornhole.
Indoors.
Inside.
Yeah, but it was not easy to figure out because
No.
It was actually further away.
Yeah.
But it was like, are they bowling? Are they doing charades?
Yeah.
They are playing indoor cornhole. What desperate situation.
And actually, that fits perfectly into the way that I see what Instagram is. Instagram
You're gonna have to explain this.
Is
because looking at naked people, I don't think you can do that on Instagram.
No, you can't. Female nipples, you can't look at female nipples, but you can look at male nipples all you want because male nipples, they're dysfunctional.
Okay, I'll need to write that down.
But in fact, there was a.
Let's not get off on a nipple tangent.
Well, I'm just saying there's a woman that took male nipple pasties and put them over her own nipples.
Okay.
As a way to say, what's the big freaking difference between the two nipples? And I think, I mean, I haven't.
How'd that go over?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know the story.
Okay, well, I'm glad you told the first half of it.
But it was a little protest.
How explain to me how you're seeing Instagram through the lens of people playing cornhole in a adjacent high-rise building.
Anyone who has their window open and is doing something in an apartment or a hotel in New York City is basically saying, take a look at what I'm doing right now, right? And so that's why I don't feel weird about just like, and it's not like I'm like looking over there trying to find something. It's just like, you're kind of like, I feel like I'm in a movie sometimes and I'm like looking across and like, oh, I'm seeing, and it's just like when Letterman used to call that woman, he would look across his office and he would see the woman and she was in the window.
She was working.
And it's a real woman and they ended up having like a long term friendship. I think that Instagram is like your window, your curated window to the world. It's like saying, I'm doing this right now. I'm playing cornhole right now. And I want, and I don't care who knows. In fact, my friends who know which window I live in, who know which apartment, if they want to see me playing cornhole, it'd be cool for them to take a peek into my life at this point.
Okay.
And you can open the window and show what you want to show within certain guidelines, and you can close the window.
So you're saying it's not begging for them to look. You're not flashing the lights and yelling across the way, we're playing cornhole over here if you want to look this way. It's more just like, hey, the shades are up. I'm throwing the corn bag. Yeah. Look if you want. It's up to you. Take it or leave it.
And I also think that there is,
but it's not. Please look at this.
It is for a lot of people. It is for a lot of people, and it is for me at times, right? Like there are people who purposely post pictures of themselves that are from bad angles or they look bad because they're trying to counteract exactly the general subtext that you're talking about. They'll take like a weird picture of themselves.
Oh, they'll swing the pendulum to ugly.
And I think that is totally fine, and kudos to those people. But see again, they have the power to make that decision and to show to the world what they want to. If your fear is that you're gonna seem like a braggy daddy, if you start Instagramming, well then approach Instagram in a different way.
And I think that the first different way that comes to my mind leads to my second problem. And that's because now it's not just pictures, but it's also stories. And there's a whole lot of functionality. I mean, we do stories through the Rhett and Link account whenever we're out and about doing something work related or just having an adventure. But I think, well, if I'm just not gonna post pictures of myself and be really self-conscious about it, then I need to be entertaining. And then I need to make this a creative outlet, and it becomes like work. It literally becomes work. And to me, that is the second problem. I went on, well, here's the thing. I would get into bed and like Christy's on her phone and I'm on my phone, and I've started looking at Reddit and I'm very entertained by that. And I'll fall asleep to Reddit on my phone. I'm just, I think it's healthy. But I look over at Christy and she's laughing and she's looking at one of our mutual friends' Instagram feeds. And this particular person, we just really enjoy his stories and what he's posting and the way that the way that he says things, and it's just I love it. It just makes me happy. That connected, seeing this person's stories that is just a friend. And I'm looking over Christy's shoulder and we're just having a blast looking through the feed. And then I realize, and she wants to get to something else. And I'm like, no, go further. And she's like, well, I wanna look at this. And I'm like, you know what? I have Instagram on my phone. I can look at this on my phone right now. There are no barriers to me doing that. And then I pull up my phone and I open it up, and it's the first time I had opened Instagram in 5 years. And I look at it, I'm like, my whole feed is just populated with, of course, people that I follow, right? And only those people, that's how it works, right?
Well, that particular, yeah, your feed.
And
you can go to explore and you can see other stuff, but yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm realizing everything in my feed, it's YouTubers. And then I go to the Who Am I Following tab, and I was following 111 people. And the vast majority of those people were all YouTubers. The moment I got on Instagram way back then and posted that club picture, I just went on and started following YouTubers. Once you follow one or two, it's they suggest you. And so now I was just, all of a sudden I experienced just an avalanche of anxiety that oh wow, what are all these people doing? It became this anxiety of competition and comparison, which I think is a general problem with a lot of people on Instagram, right? Just there's an anxiety of competition and comparison. Is my life as interesting as this person? Is my face as cool looking as this person's? Is my so-and-so, is my dog, hairy in the right places? So you get in all that. But for me,
I don't think anybody's worrying about that.
Oh my gosh, what are all these other YouTubers doing that I feel like I should have been doing for the past 5 years? It became a business thing. And I totally forgot about looking at our friend's Instagram story. And I was like, you know what, this makes me mad. And if I'm ever gonna get back on this thing, this is the problem. And I started clicking unfollow. I clicked unfollow.
This explains
111 times.
Because
I unfollowed, and it was the vast majority. It just left a handful of people, and I was like, screw it. I'm gonna unfollow them too. I unfollowed you.
It was weird. It
felt good. It felt healthy. It felt like the right thing for me to do.
It felt good to go on your Instagram account that you don't use and unfollow everyone.
Yes.
You might need to see a therapist.
Yeah, and I am right now, and you're as close as we're getting at this point.
But yeah. And I can say that just before you think I'm making fun of mental health, because I do see a therapist, okay?
And I do think that there's a therapeutic Absolutely, there is something that
I
like
think
if I was talking to a therapist instead of you, we'd be.
I do think it's
a great thing for me to talk to a therapist about.
I think there's something to crack open here because
Yes.
your concerns are all valid, right? The first thing you mentioned about feeling like this is all about being self-absorbed. I could meet someone who, I could have a friend who wasn't you, who wasn't an entertainer in any way, and they would be like, I'm not on Instagram because I feel like it just makes me think about myself too much and it's superficial and it feeds into a part of me that I don't want to feed. And I would be like, I respect that, man. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a valid thing. Now my counter to that, I've already stated it, is that, well, you live a self-absorbed, self-promoting life already. And,
Thank you.
And hopefully, I think part of being a healthy entertainer is separating, and this isn't easy, this is easier said than done, separating your self-worth from people's perception of you. And so I think that's the kind of the way that I see Instagram at this point, and hopefully bypass at least some of that. I'm not, obviously I still worry about what people think of me, and that's why I post, you know, the watermelon pic and the best pic of the bunch, right? But I also know,
and I just say
and for me, well, let me finish. For me, that I'm posting that, the pie chart of reasons for why I posted the watermelon pic, the majority, I truly believe this, is because I think that it is entertaining. I think people will get a laugh, or people will get something. It will, in the way that I consume Instagram, I will be contributing to it. And you know, I read Yelp reviews, I don't write Yelp reviews. I take but I don't give. But on Instagram, I take and I give. I'm receiving the feeds and I'm feeding into the feed. And I'm doing it because I feel like I'm giving somebody something that they can enjoy on some level, giving them insight into my life and something that I think is worthy of showing people. I'm opening the window and saying, hey, we're playing cornhole today. I don't post a whole lot. So I think you can overcome that.
But with that, I mean, the thing that I need to overcome is I don't think I could ever post that watermelon swimsuit photo shoot because I would be afraid that it would be misinterpreted as, oh, I think I look great in this watermelon bathing suit. And under the guise of, I think that it's funny, but it's not, but people are just gonna say that I look good in it.
Yeah,
So then I'm concerned about, so I'm concerned, I'm not,
so why don't,
I don't want people to dictate what I feel about myself.
But when you make a decision to wear the clothes that you wear on the clothes that you wear every day, what are you like, nah man, I wear what I wear because it makes me feel good. If you wore what you wore because it made you feel good, you'd wear sweats all the time. You make a decision to put clothes on because it's external, man. It shapes people's perception of you. And then when you make a decision to be on camera.
I think that's one thing, but like when you're posting a photo on Instagram, it kind of, the number of reasons, the number of potential motives that someone could guess shrink a lot more than the number of motives associated with what you're wearing when you're just walking around town.
But anything that you do, I think you're making a distinction between showing a picture or showing a slice of your life and then what you do every single day, which is entertain people. And you are saying, I think I've got something interesting to say. I think I've got something interesting to show you. If me and you are going and doing a concert, it's like, we think we're interesting enough for you to buy a ticket to come and see us. We even think we're interesting enough for 100 or 200 people to pay even more money to come just to get a picture with us.
Mm-hmm.
This is an incredibly self-focused, self-promoting mentality that we already adopt as an entertainer. And what I'm saying is that you of all people should be able to make that transition. Like I said, if you were just somebody if you were just a banker, I got lots of banker friends, and you were like, I don't like that. I don't like to be the center of attention. I don't like to dance on the dance floor in front of everybody. I don't like to tell stories about my life. But you like to do all those things. You love to tell a story.
You don't like to tell stories about your life?
No, I'm saying if a banker said that to me.
Oh. Yeah.
You lost my analogy. If a banker said that to me, and he was like, and so that's why I don't do Instagram. But you love to tell stories.
Yes.
You love to dance. You love to be the center of attention in the same way that I do, maybe even more so than me, in all kinds of life situations. But then you're saying that all of a sudden. But I like
to craft it as a thing. So then that is my second barrier.
But you can craft it perfectly.
But that takes work.
You can open the window for a second.
Right, but so that's the second point, is it takes the work of, how do I craft this? It's the reason why I don't tweet is because like,
now this is
I'm
interesting.
sitting there, I'm like, is this funny enough? Like, I gotta come up with something funny. There's the pressure of performance when I just need to like zone out or like take it easy.
Now, I completely relate to this.
So I wanna find a way forward that is not, I don't want it to seem like, look at me, and I don't want it to seem like work where I've said, hey, this is not about looking at me. This is about, and this is also not about, look at what I've come up with to entertain you, because that's too much work. And then I just don't want to add another place where I got to come up with that.
So
I think
on the Twitter front,
those are my two problems. Those are my two barriers to getting back on Instagram.
And do you feel like we've addressed the first one? What I'm trying to say is you're not wrong, but you've made an unnecessary distinction. You've cordoned off this area of Instagram and said that this is somehow different. When what I'm saying is that so many aspects of your personal and public life is already about, look at me. Why not just throw one more into and do it in a healthy way that if it is gonna make you more self-absorbed, then don't do it. But what I'm saying is I don't think it will. I think that you're already, the correct amount of self-absorbed that it takes to be an entertainer, but not so self-absorbed that you become a self-destructive entertainer.
Yeah, I do not think that me posting pictures on Instagram is going to negatively impact me psychologically.
Okay.
I just think it's
a hang up.
I don't want to be thought of as a guy who thinks that you want to look at him.
Okay.
I want to be thought as a guy that thinks you want to laugh with or at him.
But if you were the first person on earth to be thinking about Instagram, but everyone has an Instagram account. Every single person that you know intimately, well, has an Instagram account. So you're in good company.
And
it doesn't make you weird or self-absorbed.
Yeah, and maybe I just take selfies.
Sure, well you remember Casey Neistat came up with that company, that app, Beam, and it was all about what you were seeing. That worked well. I think
it didn't work.
I think it worked. I think it actually worked very well for Casey. In the long run, it didn't work for, I guess CNN bought it. But I think the reason it didn't work is because I don't think that's what people are not necessarily just interested in what you're seeing. They're kind of interested in seeing you. So anyway. I'm
motivated to get back on because, my kids are on there. It's like, I want to be able to spy on my kids.
Yeah, let's get to that, but I don't want to, I want to address your second point, which I think is, I relate to your second point. I relate to both of your points. The first point, I feel like I just bypassed personally because I was like, I don't see why this is any different than anything else I do. The second point of it feeling like work, I really relate to. I especially, because first of all, I don't post a lot at all.
Yeah.
My frequency is like a photo a week, if that. And my stories, I'm starting to do a little bit more, I'll get into that in a second. But Twitter, as a point of comparison, I followed different comedians and I see what they tweet and it makes me mad. Because I'm like, you know what?
Because you hate comedy.
I do. I feel like I do a lot of things well and I usually can kind of set my mind on something and figure it out.
Yeah.
And I actually fancy myself a pretty good writer. And I actually
you are a good writer.
And I actually fancy myself a pretty good joke writer. Jokes in the context of a script. What I cannot really do well is joke tweet in the way that some of these comedians can. You know, I
definitely can't.
Like one of my favorite accounts, Megan Amran, however you say her last name, and she's a writer here in town, and like she just had a tweet that was, R.I.P. 2018 to 2018. I'm just like, that is so good. And then I was looking in her feed and she tweeted something like, do you ever wonder if all of our muscles have the ability to taste, but the tongue is the only one we put food on? And again, I'm just like, man. And
she better be good at it because she is a writer.
I know,
period.
that is what she does.
So,
but I assume that she's also
better.
No.
So what have you decided? That you're not good at it?
I oscillate, man, when it comes to Twitter. I think to myself, I think the way forward for me with Twitter is just don't put pressure on yourself. See Twitter as an extension of your brain. Again, it's this thing where you can occasionally just open it up and share a thought. Sometimes it's serious, sometimes it's observational, sometimes it's funny, sometimes you're definitely trying to make a very specific joke about something. Maybe you're responding to somebody. But I feel like I have a similar hang up with Twitter because I feel like I am known as a funny person, so therefore I better have a funny Twitter. But also, because it takes me time to sit and think, I'm working on a lot of other things and contributing creatively to a lot of other things. And so I kind of feel like I have a limited amount of creative energy.
And you know that's how I think.
If I'm funneling it into Twitter. But with Instagram, because it's not curated in the same way. Like tweets are like, I have to formulate a thought it's more work than like, I am in this situation right now, I could take a picture of it.
Yeah, I feel like I could be better at Instagram than Twitter. And I think I'm done with tweeting. I think Twitter to me, especially if you succeed at getting me back on Instagram, this is entirely up to you, then Twitter to me is just gonna be becoming interaction with people who are tweeting at me. So it's conversational, you know, because I'm on the app because it's a news source for me. You know, I look at the moments and like, it's a fun way to kind of get the news.
It's a global conversation around.
And then with one click over.
Curated down to the people that you want to hear from.
Because I follow so many, I had the automatic refollow on Twitter, so every fan who followed me for like years we automatically followed them back. So that is useless to me now.
Hold on, honestly. I unfollowed a lot of people
I don't do that.
Years ago.
So my feed, it has so many people just tweeting about their own lives that like, I can look at the @s where people want to talk to me or talk about me.
Or go to moments.
Replies, and I go to moments, but so I'm giving up on trying to tweet something funny.
So I guess
that's just I don't like to write in that way.
So
it is opening a little margin for Instagram if you succeed.
Well, and I think that my philosophy towards Twitter is becoming, I'm not gonna feel pressure. If I have something, I'm like, oh, that would make a good tweet. Well, just tweet it without really scrutinizing it and thinking too much. But I'm using Twitter as an example because that sort of stage fright that accompanies Twitter, it doesn't translate to Instagram for me.
I get that.
Because
I don't think it would for me either. I don't know, I guess I said that it would because if I can let go, I just need to find a middle ground of how I look at it where it's not, all right, I am going to do something that's like a story video that's gonna be entertaining. I'm gonna make a little show for you here. Or like, I'm gonna post this picture and like, I gotta see how many likes it's gonna get.
Well,
or something like that.
And so,
if it could become a genuinely fun outlet for me, like the way that I'm on Reddit, like I really enjoy it. The way that I use Twitter, I'm actually starting to enjoy now once I let go of, okay, I gotta tweet something funny. So to me, the question is,
you just use both of those. you're just sucking both of the life out of both of those platforms without contributing. Which I do the same thing with Reddit. I think I have an old Reddit account, but I can't even log into it.
Well, is there another way forward for how I can interact with Instagram in terms of how I post?
Lower the threshold.
And what I consume that makes it fun for me.
Lower the threshold.
Threshold of?
What qualifies as an interesting post. I think I need to do the same thing because I'm over here in lean, not a lot of stuff going on Instagram land because I'm just like, I don't have anything interesting. I mean, I think the thing that people don't understand, well maybe they do, is that sure we may do these ridiculous, notable, Instagram worthy things on our show, but that's our show. And then when we're not doing that, we're pretty much just sitting around working and developing things. And then I go home, and that's why a lot of times my Instagram story will just like be my dog because that's who I see when I walk through the door. And so.
Well, my dog's already got an Instagram account. I just haven't, I've also felt like, I don't want to tell anybody about it because because like Lily posts stuff on it.
But she posts stuff about the dog on it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I just felt like something's gonna get posted and there's gonna be, somebody's gonna find out where I live or something. I'm very concerned about that.
Well, I think your kids are probably actually more equipped at managing that than we are.
Well, I wouldn't know because I'm not following them on Instagram. So that's the other thing. I need to, like I said, I need to not spy, but I need to, I mean, it turns out if I'm gonna have a meaningful relationship with my kids, a good piece of that pie needs to happen over Instagram.
Yeah, but the thing you don't understand is that you're assuming that that you know about all their Instagram accounts. Just give up on that for a second. Let me just lay out the reality of the situation with the teens, the youth in their Instagrams. They have more than one, and the one that you know about is not the one that they communicate with.
What?
Yes, man.
Offenstagram? That's what that is?
Well, sounds like you know more than me.
A fake Instagram. I've heard about that.
Yeah, so they have an Instagram account because Instagram makes it so easy to just add multiple accounts and switch between them. So you have your Instagram account that your parents follow, that you comment on publicly, but then you've got another Instagram account which they're both
a
private.
Real Instagram and there's a fake Instagram, and I think the fake Instagram, I don't know which is which, but
whichever one that you know about.
Well, my kids aren't allowed to have that.
Okay, so you're gonna grab their phone and look and see if they got it? Because that's how they communicate with each other. They don't, for the longest time, I was like, I remember Lot was planning a party for his birthday, and the way that all the communication was happening was over Instagram. I was like, this is how you guys use Instagram? It's like, why don't you just text everybody? It's like, Dad, we don't do that. I think that they do text, and I think he does text with some friends, but they use the apps to communicate with each other quite a bit, and they're not going to use the account that you know about. You know, maybe they are. You can't control that, man. Just let go. Let him be the youth. But
Okay.
But I feel like we still haven't addressed your second point. I'm just to tie a bow on that.
I need to find a way forward that's not like work.
Performance anxiety.
Yeah.
That you associate with this. I relate to that, and I kind of have the same thing. But I just, first of all,
you're just saying don't care. Just flip a switch and don't care.
Just don't care. I think your account would be really interesting.
I think
Link not caring is pretty entertaining, as we have demonstrated.
I never thought about it
as a career.
Well, that's an interesting point because, I mean.
Link overthinking it's never been entertaining.
That's true. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And that's all I've been doing.
In fact, let's think of all the things that link overthinking things has led to. It led to that really weird.
My first marriage.
That really weird first marriage, you know. That really weird speech that you gave when you tried to get elected.
That really weird speech I gave at my rehearsal dinner.
Yes.
That really weird speech I gave at my 40th birthday party.
Yes.
That really weird speech I gave every time I had to give a speech.
But think of all the moments that you haven't thought and how great it's gone.
Yeah, and how little work went into it.
You know, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'll do the thinking. No, but you know what? Stevie actually told me the other day. She was talking about, you know, we have a lot of people come into our office and meet with us for various things, potential projects, etc. And she was telling me when we went
I
to
hope this ends in a compliment.
premiere the other night, she's like, you know, Link he's so good in those meetings. The way he's, you know, when it feels like things are getting awkward and they're saying something, he says something, they like loosen it up and you know.
She didn't tell me that.
And
she don't want me to like start to get flamey pants. Like, whoa, look at my pants on fire.
Flamey pants, okay. So you didn't,
like try too hard.
right, you didn't think about
I'm
it.
setting my pants on fire because there's an awkward moment. Because Stevie told me I'm good at this.
And so,
yeah.
but you're not like sitting around and calculating your strategy of those people. You're just like, they said something and you're just saying the first thing that comes to your mind.
Yeah,
and so
I got that from my dad.
Can't you translate that into, I mean, first of all, let me just say that this is a little bit risky, okay? It's a little bit risky. But
yeah,
I think if
I'm gonna be posting like social security numbers and like credit card numbers and home addresses. That's what I'm like.
I think there's a way to do it.
Can I post and it goes to somebody that then they say yes and they let it go through or not? Like an operator?
We could probably arrange
There's
that.
somebody on Instagram who can be like,
no,
you're about to do something stupid.
We could probably arrange that here in house.
Don't give this man a knife kind of a thing.
I mean, we could probably do that here in house, but I don't think we have to. I think the way that you do it is I think that your Instagram is link unfiltered. First of all,
I can't use filters? You thought that was funny.
Everything has to be
I didn't think that was funny.
Hashtag no filter. But your initial instinct is like, I'm not gonna think about this, I'm just gonna create it. And then that moment before you post, if I'm present, or if your wife is present, or if one of your children is, no, your children probably
just give me some questions to ask myself. I don't wanna have to be babysat.
No.
So like just give me a couple of questions like, is there a social security number visible?
I was gonna say if you were alone.
Okay, yeah.
If you're alone,
let's just
stop and look at it and be like, okay, don't let the filter operate until you've created the post.
Oh.
You don't need to pre-filter things because that's when you're getting in your head and you're locking up. No, just follow your instincts. But then you know what? You have a chance after you've written everything to be like, is this a good idea? And at that point, the only reason you shouldn't post something is if you think, oh, I didn't think about this. This could be offensive in this way.
Yes.
Or so if it's gonna be offensive in some way.
Or you can see my nutsack.
Exactly, you don't wanna be any nutsack, not even a little bit of nutsack.
Right.
Should make it into the picture. And Instagram will allow a little just a little nutsack.
A little peek at a sack.
Yeah, so no nutsack, no female nipples, all the male nipples you want.
Okay.
Got
two.
And so I just think you gotta take the filter off and just be like,
I take pictures.
This is an arena of self-expression. And that was another thing that I want to talk about. Don't see it as work that has to be judged. The great thing is that it doesn't matter how active and successful our Instagram accounts are, because thankfully we've got this thing going as the two of us that is very well taken care of and actually not personally managed by the two of us so that it's actually active. Right? Mm-hmm. And so that's what supports us. That's why we're able to sit here and have this conversation in this building. This isn't, our livelihood is not dependent on people's reaction to your Instagram. So you shouldn't really worry, don't think of it as work. Work is what you do to make a living.
She's saying dance like no one's watching.
Dance like nobody's watching,
yes.
But then know that every once in a while people are watching.
Should I treat it as a personal account?
And every once in a while people might be able to see your nutsack, and in those times, stop dancing and delete the post.
What if I treat it that only my mom is watching? Because then there won't be any nutsack. That'd be weird. No social security numbers, because I don't want her to have that.
No, but I don't think you should see your mom as your audience, because I think that would be a very narrow.
All my stories would start with, hey mom.
Yeah, no.
I mean that would be a comedic choice, but again, that may be trying too hard.
And you know what? There's probably a comedian who's done it already.
Oh.
I mean, it's like the Vlog Brothers deciding to talk to each other.
Should I not read the comments and likes and track my following? Just say caution to the. It's not about the results.
You know what? If you feel like you would then begin to associate your self-worth with the reception of your content, don't worry about that. Don't look at the likes. Don't look at your followers. Now, you might need to look at the comments again to make sure because people will usually say like nutsack if they see it.
Okay.
But other than that, I wouldn't worry about the comments.
I think the other component is to make it more fun. There's also, who do I follow so that I'm drawn to the app as a user? Because I do think once I'm in it, then I'm like, oh, I'm also gonna post something.
Well, I think you need to, I have some recommendations.
Give them to me because I'm pretty sure that I don't wanna follow anyone that could be seen as a peer in the industry or like
that's gonna be weird.
Stretched as a competitor. Like I just don't wanna watch other YouTubers because it's gonna seem like, oh, I need to be doing what they're doing.
Okay.
You can be an exception because you're also a friend.
I'm gonna just say it is gonna be a little bit weird if it's like, Link doesn't follow anybody who does what he does, which is usually what people do because it's actually informative to be a part of the community. But if that's-
I'm dancing and no one's watching.
The goal here is to get you on Instagram, so if that's the way you feel about it, then I'm not gonna argue with you.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, some people may be a little weirded out by it.
But that's what they think, and it's not about what they think.
Okay. Also, you know, Instagram is smart and knows who you look at and sends you those posts. So you can also follow those people for the public facing value of it, and then just not engage with them, and then Instagram will stop showing them to you. I think. I don't know. AI.
Who should I follow? Don't give me any YouTubers.
I'm not gonna give you very much at all. I'm gonna give you just a very small sample of the kinds of accounts that I find the most inspiration.
Because I know what I follow on Reddit. I follow like people peeling stuff off of things, Dotsons, perfect loops.
Okay, well, I think these are the same types of things. The things I enjoy most, like I've shown you stuff from this before. Kook slams.
Kook, K-O-O-K, slams.
Kook, hopefully it's not a derogatory term for something else, but
it's a bad surfer.
It's a bad surfer is what I know it as. And in the context of this account, that's what it means. So this is just people who've had accidents in the ocean.
Oh gosh.
And it's just a series of people just screwing their lives up in the ocean, you know? Like this is a good one. So this is a beachfront wedding.
Oh goodness. There's a little backdrop that there.
And then there it is.
Couldn't they know that the ocean was going to come in and crash on everything? Isn't that something that the ocean does?
The people are still sitting there. So I mean, that entertained me. I'm into that.
Yeah, that was.
I wanted to see that.
I also feel smarter than them.
I'll lean over to my wife and say, check this out, this wedding that just got rampaged by a wave.
You just been kook slammed. All right.
Here's another one. Similar theme, Jerry of the day. A Jerry is a derogatory term for a bad skier.
Oh gosh, okay.
A skier who doesn't know what's up, is making bad decisions on the slopes. So this is anybody who's just kind of embarrassing themselves in general. I mean, I don't know if I'll just click on a random one here.
Oh gosh.
This guy.
This guy's skiing down, he's hitting the jump, whoop! He hits the jump and then plants his face.
And it ends in the perfect place, right? The loop ends in the right place. And yep, that's it,
Skis come off, nose goes into the snow. Okay.
You get that little dopamine rush.
So I got the snow and I got the ocean.
But
these are outdoor activities?
But this is one that I found recently that I'm very excited about. Catatonic Youths. Only 10.7 thousand followers.
Ooh, getting in early.
And this is just this person who has curated all of these weird musicians. Like, check this out.
He said, welcome to Malibu. And I said, what about you? And what about the booze? You know I came here for the day. Now I just can't seem to get away.
Oh my gosh, this is horrible.
Welcome to Malibu. And I said, what about you? And what about the food?
Said, what about Malibu? This is a joke.
No, it's not. It's not a joke. It's not a joke.
Oh wow, I love
And
this.
I'm gonna show you. Like, check this one out.
Puff Puff Give. Okay. They're not in Malibu. They're a little north in San Francisco, or San Fran as I call it on my Instagram.
This is even better. These people in the forest.
I'm a warrior. How about you? I'm a warrior.
I'm an earth warrior.
Is this band in the woods?
I'm a warrior, nature's soldier fighting for the earth. That's a good cause too. Is
Yeah,
it like a
that's great.
GoFundMe?
And of course, then you got your meme accounts.
Catatonic youths.
You got your meme accounts like Daquan and the Fat Jew.
Okay. These are funny.
And-
Christy shows me some of this stuff.
That's what I'm clicking on most of the time. I mean, there's a lot of but I also then look into
What about dogs?
I don't follow any dogs. I probably should.
I bet you there's lots of dogs.
There's
out
lots
there.
of dogs to follow. You can follow just dogs. You can follow just dogs. That's how awesome it is. It's
Okay.
You're creating it. It's like going into a hotel in New York and then looking across the street and being able to just digitally control the different people who live across from you.
To open their shades.
Yes.
Well, no, they open the shade, but then you put your eyeballs on it. Okay. I feel like I can find, and you know what? Hashtag Ear Biscuits. You make recommendations on Twitter for what else I can follow on Instagram.
I have to show you this. This is when Sting was at some award show and they were covering Fields of Gold.
Yeah.
And obviously it wasn't going well. Look at his reaction. Oh no, it's every step you take.
Oh my goodness. He's like trying to stomach it. This is great. Now that's catatonic youths as well.
Yeah.
So it's just bad singing.
Oh, the solo. He had the solo like a Sting's face, man.
He's literally shaking his head a little bit.
And this is endless. It just keeps going. There's so many people who make bad music. I mean, and I never knew I loved it so much.
Wow.
Look, it's just endless. Look. Hours, Link. Hours of wasting your time.
Know. See what I've missed?
Now, I will say the one thing we haven't discussed is just the time suck and pitfall and just kind of generally dopamine expending exercise that all social media is.
Well, I've got a Reddit pocket and I think that I would just give some of that to my Instagram, but I just don't think I would be on it constantly. I just don't.
You got to ration it.
I mean, I think if I were gonna be on Instagram constantly, I would already have been on Reddit constantly, given how much I enjoy that. So I think I'm pretty good at compartmentalizing. And again, that may be the fatal flaw in me like actually being on there. It may, but I'm getting closer to saying I'm ready to do this, but
well, I have an idea for your first post, which I think
we just have to think.
I have an idea that I think will address it. Actually, in a weird way, addresses all your concerns.
Okay.
I think that I don't think that you're gonna be able to do this if you don't embrace posting pictures of yourself. I think that the picture you come back with does need to be of yourself, of your face, okay?
Oh gosh.
I think you need to come back with a selfie.
Come back with us.
I think you need to come back with a selfie because you don't need to, you gotta come out a little bit hot, man, in overcoming this and not caring.
Man, I don't
Hold
want people
on.
to think I'm hot. Come out hot.
And I think that you need to have a real booger. A real, actual booger sticking out of your nose.
This is bad. This is a bad idea because it takes both of the problems that I have with Instagram and it puts them both front and center. Hey,
no, it disarms the whole thing.
Look at my face and I think it's funny that I'm doing this.
We've been through this. You are funny, okay? You made a living being funny. You are funny, get over it.
Why not just make a fart joke? I mean, a booger joke?
You can't see a fart, man. You can't see a fart, and you shouldn't show a turd.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna prove you wrong.
I
have an idea.
Okay, I'm not saying
I have my own idea.
That doesn't have to be the idea because we talked about how you don't need to think about it. But I just think that if you come out of the gate with something that is a little self-deprecating and it just embraces, and don't not show your face though. I think at least in the first 10 posts, you gotta show your face.
10 times?
In the first 10 posts, there needs to be you showing your face once, is what I'm saying.
I've got an idea.
Okay. But now you're thinking about it.
That's true.
You know what? I shouldn't tell you.
It's the first one.
You know what?
I've thought about I've got an
Don't
idea
even
for the
think
first
about the time, and don't even think about the content. It's just when it hits you, do it, and don't care. Don't even think. Don't use my idea. Don't use my idea.
one. I won't.
Don't use an idea. Have an idea, and the idea being formed is the post itself. It happens in one swift motion.
You know what? It's been very helpful having this conversation, and I think I'm ready. And I'm not gonna ask you to go over to Instagram and follow Link Lamont, which no is not my real name.
Well, there's another thing we didn't discuss, but that's cool.
Or should I start over? I got 500,000 followers. I can't start over.
Don't start over. Go with that. Yeah. That's your social media name, man.
When I reach 1 million followers, I will make my first post back. Just joking. It's not about that. This is a form of self-expression. I'm dancing like no one's watching.
Is this photo,
Link Lamont,
is the post going to be up?
Follow or don't.
Is the post going to be up when this podcast is live?
Yeah. I'll make a commitment. I think I'm ready. Yes.
When the video is live or when the audio version is live?
When this thing comes out, that's the audio.
Okay.
It's by the time this comes out, it's there.
Okay. I'm excited, man. I don't know if I'm gonna follow you, but
I don't know if I'm gonna follow you.
I mean, I do follow you now, but that hasn't meant anything.
Right. You may have to unfollow dancing like nobody's watching.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna call it.
I think I need to
That's gonna center me.
I think I need to follow it just in case there is a nutsack. And I
can just show it to you right now if you want to see it.
I might need to catch the public nutsack. Just in case there's a square of nutsack.
A square?
I don't know what kind of underwear you got on. Might have a square hole in it.
Oh, it doesn't.
Good.
It doesn't. All right, thanks for hearing me out. I don't know if this is helpful for anybody else.
Yeah, everybody's like, what are you talking about?
Be a big mistake.
I'm already on Instagram. Yeah. You've made me overthink it.
All right, but like I said, hashtag earbiscuits. Let me know what you think. Commiserate with me if you're off. Don't talk me out of it, because by the time this comes out, I've already made the decision to be in on it. You heard it. I just made it.
Right. Just follow.
But if you want to recommend something that you think I would actually enjoy on Instagram, please do that on Twitter, ironically. Or I guess you could do it on Instagram.
Yeah, that's what I would suggest in the comments of your first post.
Well, I'll be damned.
They should just recommend
Isn't that crazy?
accounts, yeah.
Use hashtag earbiscuits. That still works on Instagram, doesn't it? I believe it does.
It does. It does.
Do it. And thank you for sitting in on this. I don't know, I'm a verbal processor and I just need this space to figure things out. And I couldn't do it without you. Thank you for your help, Rhett.
Anytime.
Well,
anytime you want
really
to
appreciate it.
You want to monetize advice from me, I'm here.
To watch more Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist on the right.
To watch the previous episode of Ear Biscuits, click on the playlist to the left.
And don't forget to click on the circular icon to subscribe.
If you prefer to listen to this podcast, it's available on all your favorite podcast platforms. Thanks for being your mythical best.